as much as I don't like Hamas, at the same time, I'm not naive to the point where I'm oblivious to the reality of the Jewish fanatics. Oh, yes, and there's plenty of Jewish fanatics, and their numbers are growing. So, yes, I'm not going to support Hamas, destroy Hamas. I don't give a shit about them. At the same time, I understand that there is another evil in Israel that's growing. And that evil is Jewish extremism, ultra-Jewish nationalism. Kill all Arabs, push them out of their homes. That is what worries me. Netanyahu, a number of years ago, was talking about retaking a chunk of the West Bank. Oh, yes. And they were people in the Trump administration who said, that's okay, go ahead and do what you want. And it looked like Israel was about to do it, that Israel was going to take a chunk. I think it was like 30% of the West Bank. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And then the Americans, in the last second, told the Israelis, don't do it. Don't do it. And Israel didn't do it. Now, why would the Americans not want for that to happen? Well, think about it. What's America's most powerful ally in NATO? It's Turkey. Turkey is the second most armed. After the United States, it is the most armed country in NATO. What would happen if Israel decided to take the West Bank? You could bring about the prospect for a major war in the Middle East. And I'm talking a NATO ally, Turkey, the NATO ally of Turkey, the NATO member Turkey, I should emphasize, going into Israel and fighting the IDF. That would be a disaster. And do you know what would happen? Iran would say, oh my God. Oh my God. The Turks are fighting the Israelis. And for decades, we were talking about killing the Jews. This is our opportunity. And Iran and Turkey could have an alliance to kill the Jews. It is so disastrous to the American empire. Turkey, super powerful NATO member, the big bulwark against Russia on the Black Sea, huge bulwark. It is the NATO's only bulwark against Russia in the Mediterranean. It controls the Dardanelles. It controls the route into the Sea of Marmara. It controls the route from the Mediterranean into the Black Sea. Like, it is a hugely, hugely strategic area, super strategic area. The United States, as an empire or as a global hegemony, however you want to word it, Turkey. The United States cannot afford to lose Turkey. It just can't. It just can't do it. And, if Russia wants to enter the Mediterranean, Turkey can be there as a bulwark against Russia. If Russia wants to use the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles to enter the Mediterranean, Turkey can be there for NATO to block the Russians. And we've actually seen this happen. It happened not too long after the war with Ukraine began. Yeah, so there's the Bosphorus, and then there is the Dardanelles. And right there's Çanakkale. There was a huge battle there during World War I. The Anzacs were slaughtered there because they lost their naval support, because Winston Churchill said, oh, I don't care if people die. I don't care if they put mines in the water. To hell with them, whatever. What a nightmare that was. 3 months of hell. Damn, I hate World War I. I hate that war. Dude, I freaking hate World War I. I hate reading about that war. It's just like everything. It's like everything that... Every bad thing that possibly can happen happened in World War I. It was like genocide, people being slaughtered. It was just horrible. Hate that war. I hate reading about it. I don't like that. Reading about World War I just made me dislike Winston Churchill. Like, I remember hearing about, after World War II, everybody hated Winston Churchill, the poor old man in a wheelchair. And then after reading about Çanakkale, I was like, okay, I hate that guy too. Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. So Turkey is strategically extremely vital for the United States. Imagine if Israel decides to invade the West Bank and fight the Palestinians to take 30% of the West Bank, to put more settlements, because that's the goal, right? Because you have the ultra, the people with the long curly hair and the kippas, you have the fanatics in Israel. They want more settlements in the West Bank. That's their prerogative right now, right? That's their aspiration. They want to build more settlements in the West Bank. How are you going to do that? You have to retake more territory in the West Bank. So imagine Israel sends the IDF smack right in the middle of the West Bank. They start taking more territory. Turkey comes along and says, and then they're like, okay, we're going to put Turkish soldiers, because Turkey wants to put soldiers in the West Bank. Yes, they want to protect the Palestinians from the Israelis. Back in 2021, when you had pogroms against Palestinians, Erdogan came along and said, we need a peacekeeping force in Israel to protect the Palestinians, et cetera, et cetera. That's all about, putting in a military foothold. And imagine if you have Turkey right there in Israel, and you have Israel fighting Turkey. Two countries that are a part of the NATO umbrella fighting one another. That is very ugly. And then Iran comes in and says, well, we're a big regional player. We want to kill the Jews. Turkey's doing it. We're not going to allow them to have all the fun. We're going to get in. We're going to get in this. Imagine Iran and Turkey making a deal, making a partnership, an alliance to kill the Jews. You lose Turkey as an ally. Iran becomes more powerful. And then you lose your main bulwark for NATO in the Mediterranean and on the Black Sea. That is insane. And that's why I think the Americans told the Israelis to back off. But there were people in the Trump administration who wanted that to happen. And it was just insane, completely insane, guys. Completely ass-mad insane. So let me see here. Hold on a second. It's just one big Jew-killing orgy. That's exactly what happened. I mean, Israel got a sample of this last week. Iran warns Israel of Axis response as fear grows of regional war. Let me make my little square smaller here so you guys can see the article. Let me move my ass up here so you guys can look at the article here. So let's check this article out. London, Iran. Should I put my glasses on? Hold on. I'm getting old, guys. Death is getting closer and closer every day with me. I gotta read with glasses on. Iran warns Israel of Axis response as fears grow of regional war. Iran, Hamas's major supporter, has warned that Israel could receive a response from Tehran's allies amid growing fears the conflict between Israel and Hamas could spiral into a regional Middle East war. Israel responded to Saturday's cross-border attack by Hamas by dropping over 6,000 bombs on what is described as Hamas targets in Gaza. Authorities there say more than 1,500 Palestinians have already been killed in the retaliatory strikes, including over 500 children. Israel's military Friday told all civilians in northern Gaza, more than 1 million people, to relocate south within 24 hours, etc., etc. We've already read this. But the fact is that Iran is warning Israel, like, hey, we have our axis. We have the Houthis. We have Hezbollah. We could use our allies against you. So, the idea of Iran going into Israel, I think, is inevitable.